Don't Worry Darling is the new film directed by the hot girl from Tron Legacy, starring Florence Pugh, Chris Pratt, and some British guy I've never heard of. It tells the story of this tiny town set sometime in the 1950s, or something, with a society that is all women staying home and cook and clean, while the men go out and work on this mysterious generator or something far off into the desert. Listen, it's going to be hard to talk about this film without spoiling it, like, immediately, but I'm going to try my best, because once I get into spoilers, I have about 7,000 things to say about how bad this movie is. First of all, the acting. The acting was pretty good for the most part. Going in, I heard a lot of people say that Harry Styles is like really bad at acting, and Florence Pugh saves the day, kind of. But I generally thought everyone was pretty good in it. I thought Harry did a good job, actually, and so did Lawrence Pugh. Lawrence Pugh. So did Florence Pugh. Chris Pine weirdly isn't very good in it. Like he doesn't even have enough time to be good in it. He kind of just shows up. I swear to God, he's in it for less than 5 minutes. Olivia Wilde is not good in this film, I thought personally. She has a weird looking face, and she kind of looks like an alien, and that threw me off quite a lot. Nick Kroll is in this. Why? Why the fuck would that be a good idea? I don't know, but he's barely in it, so that's whatever. The set design and production design are both very good as well. The little town looks good for the most part. I like the costumes, particularly on Florence Pugh. She is disgustingly gorgeous throughout this film. The music is one part of this film that I fucking hated at first. Like, oh my god. But slowly throughout, I began to like it more and more. It starts off with like 4 oldie songs in a row, like back to back to back to back. And they're all like the classic oldie songs that like you definitely have heard of before. And so I was like, this is annoying already. It felt like I was beating me over the head with a stick. This is supposed to take place in the 50s. But eventually they also did what the film Men did, Alex Garland's new horror monstrosity, Men, did with the score, which is like they have the gasps of the character be a part of the score. And, so they did that and it was pretty cool and effective. I like that. I think it's a good thing. I don't know if you can do it more than now, because 2 films already just did it. But still, it was okay. The cinematography as well, I thought, was pretty good. There are some, or at least one visual motif that is placed throughout in a few shots here and there, and they look pretty good for the most part. It's not exactly subtle, though, considering it's like the whole movie feels like it, but that's all I can say about that. However, a lot of the beginning part of this film is extremely forgettable. Nothing is too impressive or stands out besides the production design, so it really needed the story to pick it up to keep me watching. And it did, for like about an hour, maybe? I don't know. There was like a solid from like the 15-minute mark to the hour and 15-minute mark. I was like kind of into it. Unfortunately, this film was 2 hours long. So unfortunately, after a while, this film starts collapsing in on itself and making no fucking sense whatsoever. And is the main reason I'll never ever watch this film ever again. I kind of want to recommend it to you if you haven't seen it, just because the twist is fucking absurd. So go watch it if you want to be a part of this conversation, but if you don't, I won't blame you. Now let's get into spoilers, because I have a lot to say. So like we said, this film is obviously taking place in the 50s, right? I mean, just listen to that music. After I heard those songs back to back to back to back to back, I said to myself in the theater, this is going to take place in present time, isn't it? And it did. So the twist all along is that this world that they are living in was built by Chris Pine, and it's like a VR kidnapping game where weirdos on Reddit who listen to New World Order podcasts gets little IVR sets for their quote unquote wife, who they somehow drug them and put it on them, and then they have to keep them alive for as long as possible. So Harry Styles, turns out, is not British. He's a fucking American creep, it turns out. Basically, in the real world, he is like this beta male who's like, "Mommy, please cook me food." And in the 50s, he's like this super uber dope Chad who has like this dope job and gets a promotion or whatever. But like even as an American, he's still played by Harry Styles. So couldn't he just like look at himself in the 50s and be like, wow, damn, maybe if I took a fucking shower and I washed my hair once a week, and shaved my face, I'd still look like Harry Styles. But he never gets that thought. But yeah, anyways, turns out Florence Pugh is a surgeon in our modern world who provides for her husband, I guess for some reason, and herself. And he thinks that she hates working just because one night she's tired and doesn't want to have sex. So his dumbass basically gasses her, kidnaps her, and keeps her prisoner for like months in this VR game. And where is her family, He kidnaps her and keeps her prisoner for months, and no one questions anything. She had a job. Like, she had a job. The boyfriend's a creep, and she's missing for months. Like, even if she doesn't have a family, someone's gonna notice her not being there. She's a fucking surgeon. You know, she had appointments, probably. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. No one ever questions it. Anyway, she gets this realization while she's in the simulation thing in the VR world for no reason. Just suddenly at the end of the movie, she just like blinks and she's like, "Oh my God, you kidnapped me. I'm on a bed. Or why did you do this to me?" And he's like, "What?" But the only reason she realizes this is because she was murmuring this song to herself throughout the film, and then she heard Harry Styles sing the song, and then she wakes up. And it's so weird. She was singing the song throughout the whole thing. Why did she not wake up when she started singing the song? I don't know. Anyways, that's fucking stupid. She's all, "Fuck you, bitch. I know what you did to me." Anyway, she kills Harry, and I get my favorite line of all time. The director, Olivia Wilde herself, says this out loud to Florence Pugh as she's running to go to the place to like get out of the VR system or whatever. And I could not believe my ears when she said this. Just get ready. She said this out loud, okay? This isn't the exact quote from it, but it's very, very similar, okay? "If you die in the game, you die in real life." I think she actually said when he dies in the game, or when he dies in this world, he dies in real life. She said something along those lines. And I lost my shit when I heard that. I was like, "Oh my God, someone wrote that down and thought that was a good..." That went through like how many revisions? That stayed there for that long. That's such a joke of a line. Like, that literally is a joke of a line. But anyways, so that's the twist, is, you know, it's not real. It takes place in the real world, present time. And so obviously, if you ever have seen any movies ever, you know of M. Night Shyamalan and his film The Village, maybe. And I gotta say, this movie is literally just The Village. It's just The Village. That's this whole movie. Just go watch The Village. It's the same fucking movie. But anyways, with a twist like this, you would think there has to be a lot of connections or interweaving this twist carefully through the script. It's got to be done very subtly and very like, "Oh, here's a nod to it that you didn't notice at first. Here's a nod to it." And I swear to God, they did not know about this twist when they were making this movie. Nothing even makes sense in this whole film. This whole film makes no sense, okay? The whole reason anything starts even happening is Florence Pugh is on a train car. First of all, already there's a problem there. Who the fuck is driving this train car? Is it a fake person or a real person? Why would a real person in this VR choose to be a train car driver? That makes no sense already. So, if you find out that he's a computer program, why can he like interact with Florence Pugh so easily? Like, he like has facial expressions and stuff. Like, how can a computer do that? But anyway, that's a whole can of beans that I'm not gonna go further into. So his whole existence makes no sense. Anyways, but while she's on the train car, she sees a red fighter plane crash, and she decides to go and find it, even though it looked about 10 miles away from her. And she goes up this hill, and she finds this little portal or whatever back to the real world at the time. We don't know what it is. But the point of this is to say, where the fuck did that plane come from? Who the fuck programmed that plane to crash by the generator? Like, what? Also, when the plane passes through, like, by the generator, there's, like, an invisible force field kind of shimmer thing, like, it goes blah, 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 blah. And that's never explained. Like, why even add that in? Like, it looked like the force field from fucking Cabin in the Woods when he flies into it, you know, and, like, dies. It looks like that, but they, like, get through it. It's, oh, man. Or, like, the shimmer from Annihilation. I'm telling you, there's, like, 9,000 movies in here. But anyways. And so none of that's ever explained. Where did the plane come from? She never even sees the plane. Like, the plane is never seen again. She only sees the plane crash. She never sees it on the ground. Like, what? That's the whole start of this entire movie, is the fucking plane, and it's never even seen or talked about ever again. Man, Jesus Christ. I physically, it hurts my brain. Also, the backstory of her friend Margaret, who was, like, never developed at all, by the way, and just, like, shows her with this kid, and then the kid is taken away. But Harry Styles says all the kids are fake. So, like, what, did they just delete a program, or did they really kill her real-life kid? Hard to say. Either way, makes no sense. It was stupid. How can they program a kid to act like a kid? Anyway, this film also has a car chase, and it was maybe one of the worst car chases of all time. The whole time Florence Pugh is just stuck between these two other cars who are like ramming into her. And the whole time, when you're in a situation like this, the clear answer is hit your brakes so they go ahead of you. And then you can just go around them and keep going. You know, like hit the brakes is clearly the answer to this issue that she's in. And so I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, hit the fucking brake. And then this doctor guy who like isn't important or developed ever, and he is in one scene, decides he should come to them head on and just go 100 miles an hour straight into all of these cars for no reason. Like, why couldn't he just like stop her at the mountain? Why couldn't he just wait for her at the mountain and then like just grab her? Like, that makes no sense why he decided to try to hit them with their car. But anyways, she hits the brake. The doctor guy fucking hits the other two people like head on, and they blow up in this crazy car wreck. And I was like, that was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And then in the meantime, Florence Pugh's like, whoa, what happened? And it's like, fucking go. Anyways, it was so dumb. It was legit so dumb. Also, Chris Pine's character, he's in this for maybe 10 minutes, and he's alluded to being this like super important cult leader guy who's like challenging Florence Pugh to escape his like grasp or whatever, and it sounds awesome. Like, being that should be the whole plot of this movie, is this creepy guy wants to see if this Florence Pugh girl can escape his grasp. That would be a movie I'd watch. But he never does anything in this movie except gaslight her and then get stabbed. That's all he does. He gaslights her twice and then immediately gets stabbed by his wife. And why does she stab him? Why does she suddenly feel this like trapped sensation? She never felt it before in this VR world. Why now does she decide to stab? Like, what changed? Nothing changed in this world, and yet everyone starts... Makes no sense. Like, why did the lights start blowing up? When she kills Harry Styles, she goes outside. First of all, she's covered in blood. She looks like she looks like Carrie from the movie Carrie, okay? And lights just start blowing up around. She literally just turns into Carrie at the end. Shit just starts blowing up around her. Why, though? Why? Harry Styles wasn't the creator of this program. Okay, Chris Pine was. If Chris Pine died, then maybe the lights blow up. But Harry died, not Chris Pine, and then all of the things started blowing up. It's never explained. It makes no sense. And it makes me so fucking mad. Nothing is explained in this movie. And I'm not saying I need a 10-minute scene of exposition. I just need a little bit of context to what the fuck is going on. I literally don't know what's happening in this movie. Anyways, so the reasoning behind the real Harry Styles, whose idea of trapping his beautiful and hardworking wife in this system for months, turns out is because he wants to live this perfect life with her where she doesn't have to work. But then he immediately says he had to get a job in order to pay for her being in this system. And it's like, bro, if you would have just gotten a job before, she wouldn't have to work overtime for your dumb ass to make you fucking grilled cheeses all the time. He's so fucking stupid. The whole plan doesn't make any sense. It's so fucking stupid. It literally, and also there's this one shot where he's like walking, and it's like, he just looks exactly like the Riddler from the Batman. I mean, it's insane. It's just literally the Riddler from the Batman. It's the same. It's crazy that these movies even came out at the same time. It's like this fear of Redditor incels is like really huge right now. And the Batman and this movie both capitalized on it. But anyways, that's all I can fucking talk. Like, I need to watch an explained video of... I'm never going to watch this movie again. I need to hear someone explain this movie to me. Because I have to be missing something. It is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. There are plot points completely ignored throughout, and I don't even blame Olivia Wilde's direction. I think she did an okay job. I think the actors did a good job. I think it was pretty well made for the most part. I just think the script and the story overall is fucking horrible. Like, completely not thought out well. It's like something I would write. That's what it felt like. It felt like a complete amateur affair. But anyways, to wrap up, let me name every single film that this film reminded me of throughout. The Village, first and foremost, literally the same. Carrie, obviously. Hereditary. The new film the new Suspiria film. I swear to God, there's a whole dancing segment of this film that makes no sense, and she like looks in the mirror and she's someone else, and that's literally a whole scene from Suspiria. It's like the best scene from that movie. Anyways, Rosemary's Baby. There's a lady with short hair in a cult. I mean, come on, or like in a witchcraft thing. I don't know. Rosemary's Baby for sure. The Batman, like I said. I said other ones too throughout, and I totally forgot. The Twilight Zone is very Twilight Zone-y as well. And anything that is like the Twilight Zone but isn't the Twilight Zone seems to be usually worse than the Twilight Zone, so not great. But anyways, that's it. This is turned out way longer than I thought it would be. I really did not think it would be this long. Yeah, hopefully my thoughts make any sense. Maybe I'll collect my thoughts a little more and write an actual video essay on like why nothing makes sense. But anyways, I just had to get this off my chest. Thank you for watching and listening. Go watch it, maybe, if you're interested in seeing all of these plot points not get fulfilled in any way whatsoever. Thank you very much. Goodbye.